So, how do you come through complete chaos where you're never at peace into a life where you actually do live with peace? I have to be honest that that journey has not been easy for me. I'm now in my 60s and I have more peace than I've ever had, but I have to be honest about the struggle. When my children were little, I was addicted to religion. So I was the good girl. I didn't like to hang out with people who smoke or drank or cussed or any of those kinds of things. And I really lived in that religious place. And living in that religious place, actually, I had no emotions I carried with me because religion, you don't really have to have emotions. You don't have to live authentically. You just show up, go to church, read the Bible, be good, and religion calls you okay. But I lived a very inauthentic life, and I was very unavailable to my children during those years because, I did the right things in the sense of read books to them, and I was there when they were little. We cooked, we did, cookies and all those things, but my heart was frozen back in trauma, and I was not being an authentic person. So when I left their dad at 35, we left with a lot of wounds. And then I moved into other addictions. I kind of left religion behind because I didn't kind of leave it behind. I basically told it to get out of my life. I was done. And then started going to bars just to ease the pain. My heart was broken. My marriage of 18 years was over. My children had been abused. And now they were going to be abandoned by their father. I knew that because if abusers can't abuse you, they leave you. And so then I just started drinking. I didn't drink when the kids were little. When I was in the spirit of religion, I was too good to drink. But then my life was so broken, I moved into all kinds of addictions. I started smoking again. I'd smoked when I was a teenager and drank when I was a teenager. But then when I got married, I was a good girl. I was a religious girl. But now I left him at 35, other addictions came. I started dating. I was drinking way too much. I wasn't home as often as I should be. Well, I still cooked and hung out with my girls and tried to find them. My heart was desperately broken. So for me to move into the world of being authentic was catastrophic in a way. My religious my religious stripes were gone. And now I just look like a mess. But the truth was, I was beginning to live more authentically than I'd ever lived in my entire life. And I was 35 then. For the next many years, Jesus remained with me, but he actually became real to me. Religion keeps you from this significant place where God's your best friend. So I cried out to him in ways I'd never cried out to him before. I needed him desperately. I could feel the brokenness in me. I could feel my humanity. I could feel my lack of structure. I knew as a parent that I didn't have what my children needed, and they needed a whole lot more than I could give. So I found myself during those years on my knees a whole lot more. While I was becoming authentic and real, it was catastrophic to me because I looked like such a mess. But I have to tell you, I liked myself more because all of a sudden I was Jody again. I wasn't just someone's wife. I wasn't just someone's mother. I was discovering who I was. And for me, that's what the journey looked like. I continued to drink more and more and more as I got into like the memories of the murder. And what I was trying to do was find the murder, but through all the years, there was so many rapes and so many violent things that occurred, even physical abuse, the rejection from my mother, just the constant stuff kept coming up. And so going back through my past, I heard a friend say the other day that she received a scar when she was young. And one of the hardest things she said about receiving that scar was not the first initial scraping on her leg that caused this tremendous wound, but it was when she went to the doctor and had them clean that wound out. She said that hurt more than the first infraction. And I really thought about that. And the years when I was 35, I was beginning to clean my wounds out. And those were painful years. I looked a mess. I was not available to my kids, although I really was becoming more available to them, even though it appeared that I wasn't, because now I didn't have the religious fog and the religious veil on. I didn't have the look good on. I was looking really messy, but I was healing. I was healing in a really real way. So that's one of the steps to come out of it. Let's talk about marriage for a minute. I hear a lot of people say, oh, I've been married for 40 years. God's been so good. Wow, that just feels like this big sharp wound in my side because I've been married 4 times. I was married for 18 years. Then I was married for 2 months and I left that marriage quickly because I just didn't want to be in a bad marriage again. Then I dated for years, didn't have anybody live in my house, and after about 10 years, got married again. That marriage lasted, I don't know, a little over a year, I think, and then I found out that he was a full-blown meth addict. I wasn't the best at picking people, but he seemed kind and he didn't really hurt me. He hurt himself. So I left that marriage, and I was scared I'd be alone for another 18 years or so. But my counselor said that I had healed during all of this time and I probably wouldn't be alone. And the truth was, as messy as my life looked, I did find a man. I think I stayed single for a year after that. And then I think the next year I got on some dating sites. Boy, you don't ever hear that in Christian circles, do you? But I'm telling you the authentic truth of what it looks like. And then I got on a dating site and I met this really nice man, and we've been together for the last 10 years, and it's changed my life. Because one of the things that I realize with people who've come through severe childhood trauma, all sexual trauma in childhood is severe because even if it's 1 or 2 times, that's devastating in the life of a child, and a child has no idea what to do with it, and it changes the trajectory of their life. So my marriages, it was kind of part and parcel. See, when I had been married, I could have said I'd been married for 40 years. I could have, if I would have stayed with the spirit of religion, I could have been married to the kid's dad for 40 years. I would have had no voice. I never had a voice being married to him. I would have been religious. I would have lost my children. They would have hated me by now because I could have never heard their story. I could have never heard their losses. I could have never heard their pain. So I guess for me, I'm not glad that I've been married 4 times, but I'm certainly glad that I learned how to be authentic, that I learned how to get in the real game of life, that I shred myself from the spirit of religion that's so ugly that kept me hidden from everything good. So now I just walk as a Jesus girl. I'm for doing pretty good these days. I have peace that I've never known. I love in a way that's deep and profound and real. My grandchildren want to be around me. I was home the other day and my little one grabbed my hand, and I put him on my lap and he fell asleep. Those are the things that living authentically bring you. Well, I don't look perfect. I don't look religious. I might say a bad word in Jesus in the same sentence because I just love him and I know that he tolerates my humanity. I'm so full of life and love and hope today. I just wanted to come on and tell you what authentic looks like. I love you, man. Keep going. Jesus knows being authentic is where it's at. Don't be religious. I think that when we get rid of all of those BS shrouds that make us look good, but our hearts are desperately longing for love and attention, reality, authenticity. You know what? Just say, Jesus, I need what Jody's talking about. So I'm praying with you. I am here for you. Yeah, if you like what we're doing, please subscribe. If you feel like you want to help me do this, would you please donate some money? I have a staff, and it takes a lot of money that I actually take out of my own pocket to do this, but I'd like to do this more. So anyway, you see you. That's what God's always asking. Take your eyes off the person next to you. Stop judging everybody so severely because God needs to find you. He's always looking for you. It's the only way he can find you, and it's the only way he can love you more. You see you. Until next time.